really looking forward for today's event since we have our chief guest, Dr. T.P. Kumar. He is a space scientist and I'm really excited to listen to him. The moment I knew that he's coming, I was so excited just to and I'm really happy, sir, that you have accepted our invite and came here today.
We are elated to take an opportunity to felicitate our chief guest of the day, Dr. T.P. Kumar, sir. Sir is the former Deputy Director, Director General of Security and the Space Scientist at Government of India. Dr. Kumar's work towards creating a more sustainable environment is an inspiration to the young hearts of our nation. Alongside, Sir is also a former Project Management Directorate at ISRO and the former Director of Calicut University, Kerala. We heartily welcome you to the gathering, sir. Thank you, everyone. I would like to invite our chief guest, Dr. T.P. Kumar, sir, to give some meaningful insights and enlighten us with his words.
नमस्कारम। आज़ादी की अमृत महोत्सव का पर्व पे मेरा शुभकामनाएं। सबको सादर नमस्कार और प्रणाम। It's always nice to be with the youth, the students of India. Especially with the guests from the Rotary, because they do a lot of social activities, equipping children for the next generation. I am here because of my daughters, brothers and sisters and sons, Tarishi, Sadaf, Shreya. I am seeing few names. And glad on that nice meaningful dance show on Bharata, Bhava Raga Tala. I know today is a great day. Previously I was with Aurobindo College with Enactus on UNDP Sustainable Development Program on May 10th. It's just 3 months. So when we are celebrating 74th completion of independence, entering into the 75th, India is going to celebrate for 1 year. For me, when I speak to this college today, it's not Independence Day at all for me. It's the one of the greatest freedom fighter of India, under whose name this college, Sri Aurobindo, today is his birthday. 15th August 1872, 149th birthday. Actually, Sri Aurobindo College should celebrate not 75 years of independence, 150th birth year of Aurobindo, and make the whole year with a lot of celebrations. Because no other college can do that, only you can do it. And this is also so special. Aurobindo was part of politics fighting against Britishers. He found that if India has to equip themselves, each individual needs that freedom. That freedom comes only with spirituality. And therefore he shifted from politics to spiritual. So I wish all of you shift from the concept of politics to the concept of self. Don't try to become leaders. The difference between politics and spirituality is politics believes people and leaders can make a difference. But if you look at most of the democratic countries did not do very well. And therefore, probably people need to equip themselves to more spiritual, getting into yourself than looking out into the society. Only when you clean yourself you can look outside, otherwise you will see only bad things. Purne manasi sampurnam jagat sarvam sudhadravaihi upana gudapadasya nanu charmastrudaiva bhuvu. This is one line of the great message to Rama, who was a Dharmaputra, from his mentor Vasishta, who was the author of Yoga Vasishta, and that can be condensed into one line. This is the line: Purne manasi sampurnam jagat sarvam sudhadravaihi upana gudapatasya nanu charma strudaiva bhuvu. That he got when he was at teenage. Rama was in teenage, not even entered into college. So if you can realize that self is what you see out, your cleaning inside is essential. Probably Aurobindo understood it after 38 years. Yeah, probably 38 years. Because 150th and 111. So I am minusing that. So he jumped into spirituality 111 years back. So it's more reason for Aurobindo College to celebrate. 111 is a good number. Though he was part of not a small college, he got his Indian civil service. Those days it was not an examination. People have to travel to London. King's College. I don't know how many people know that what is the credential of King's College. That is where Madam Curie, Mary Curie studied. That's where my son Hari Krishna also studied his politics. And that is where Aurobindo studied. In Cambridge. And after that, he came back to India to serve the princely state, not the Indian state, not free independent state. And he became more involved in national politics, and that made Britishers to file lot of false case against him and put into jail. So Aurobindo's whole concept of freedom was entirely different from most of the other political leaders, because he had that spirituality inside him. The evolving requirement of the self within, that is the soul, the Atma, when it reached the maximum evolution, it binds itself to the nature and urge for the unity among people. If that evolution doesn't happen, you unite people, people will start fighting. That is what today's politicians are doing. That is why India is not what India has to be, with all the spiritual power which we had. He says the demands of nature, not one, the twin demands of nature. What is behind the scene which acts as the individual progress, until he and you, each one of us, fulfills what is that we need, independence have no meaning. Like Ramana Maharshi says, many people teach yoga today, and we say that close your eyes and then be inside. You can never be, because all of us are out. External thoughts cannot be stopped. But then people started teaching what is meditation. Control your breath. That's also another stupid thing. You cannot control it for longer. They meditate only 10 minutes, and the rest 23 hours, 50 minutes, they are in full tension. It's all show. We are good in showing. But these are required to market, so that I get an opportunity to talk to few. And only when the picture is taken, video is on, After that, you close your video and then shut that audio and then go somewhere else, have your breakfast. This is what we are. It is not show. That is what Ramana Maharshi says. Pranabandhanat liyate mana. If you hold your breath, your mind will become dissolved. How? Jala pakshivat dina rodanam. As you are in a nest, the bird is safe. Or bird feels happy. No. You open the nest, then you will see the bird flies and be happy. That's how you are. When you practice, you feel good. No. I started teaching under United Nations umbrella of Yoga Brotherhood Bhagavad Gita. Aurobindo was a great interpreter on Bhagavad Gita. He wrote at length the practicability, not the dry metaphysical descriptions. The aspect of Gita, the ethical and the spiritual, stress in action and karma, based on equality, non-attachment, that is the non-attachment. And for what? Renunciation of you self, because when you get into and understand that each other person is also in dharma, synthesized with Vedanta, Sankhya, Jnana, Bhakti, Tantra, the deep insight of worship of the God, the God within us. And that realization came to him, and he fought against Britishers as Arjuna fought to the Kauravas. That was the strength of him, that spiritual strength of him. And he kept at length writing on pages and pages with all concept of Bhagavad Gita and nationalism. You look at Bhagavad Gita and nationalism, Aurobindo's articles, I really got attracted both to Bhagavad Gita and Aurobindo. And today evening, 7:30, I have got my sessions on Bhagavad Gita. What is the message of Bhagavad Gita? As Aurobindo mentioned in his magazine Vande Mataram. What a great fight against the extremists is being compared. What happened in Mahabharata war. Therefore, we as Indians, with all that spirit of spirituality within us, all of us are Kshatriyas today. All of us are fighters. Each individual is a fighter. For what? Getting out of your bondage. That is what it means. Independence means the absolute, the free, the self-sufficient, non-attached. That is what independent means. What Bhagavad Gita says? Don't get binded. So Bhagavad Gita talks about independence. A free and freedom, immunity. Do we have? Do you have? Ask that question. You need to be independent. No, you are not independent. You are all dependent on many people around you. Your elders, your parents, your teachers. I'll tell you, nobody did lot of contribution to the society, those who are dependent on their parents. You are binded on your parents. You cannot decide what you want in your life. How can India be independent when the youth of India, nearly 30% of India, don't understand what they wanted to do? They look at the teachers, they look at their parents. That means you are not matured enough. So not everyone possesses independence in India. If the youth don't possess independence in India, there is no point in celebrating independence at all. So each one of you have to equip yourself to support yourself in the fundamental right on yourself. That is what is independence. The fundamental right on each one of you to become successful in life. That is what is required. And take control of your life by yourself. Don't give control to somebody else. When you get success, immediately the parents will say, yeah, inshallah, the God has done it. Your credit is gone. But then failure happens immediately. They'll say, you are not studying well. That time also you should say, inshallah. Why you don't say this? Tell me why you don't say this. This is what is. We find all the credit to somebody else. To the leaders of India. No, leaders of India. Thousands of people died. Yesterday I was talking to one of the colleges in Punjab. Amritsar, near to Amritsar. I was telling thousands of people died. Only 100 got awards. Maybe hundreds are only remembered. Why? Each one of them are not great. We need to have that show your individuality, but without ego. Being more independent will give you that freedom to show that you are great by yourself. I am sure most of you don't like lectures. Maybe as Constitution says, we have freedom of speech. And today with a lot of webinars and lot of virtual activities, lot of programs on TVs and YouTubes, I think today we should celebrate. Probably free yourself, not for the freedom of speech. From the over speech people do. All the students need freedom from the over speech which is done on webinars. So I was given 17 minutes, I think. I think I am almost closely reaching to 17 minutes. But we have come early and then sessions were started. Therefore, probably I will use only 2 more minutes. Unless you have some questions. What is essentially required for you to become developed by yourself so that you stay, I don't use the word sustainable because it's not sustainable. You should develop much bigger and higher. Not as individual. When each individual becomes part of a group, if group is not strong, there will be one leader and all stupid followers. That is what politicians want. No, they couldn't do anything good. Therefore, as Vivekananda says, you should have individually good plans and look beyond the group. The whole world will come and support you to arise from that, to show that every not possible which we don't want will become independently as workers, learners, servants for the nation with all that great views. So you all have to be the learners. Learning to be active, learning not to be linear, to be like exponentially growing with a lot of contextual understanding. Not learning, contextual understanding. Therefore, learning becomes a much progressive part of constructive way of looking at what we can do. I am part of one institution which is called International Internship University. What people do is you get certificates and then say sometime you work so that your skill will develop. We have a great university aroused from India which has got branches all over the globe. I am the R&D chairman for that committee. We believe that people should work. Looking at your work, give a degree for them. It's a free program. Anybody could show that you are actively involved in the skill development, you are contributing to the society. Then you can join the university to get degrees. The concept has to change. Things should not run in the way it is running because we have found that there are a lot of lacunas. Otherwise, India could have done much, much better. I must thank all the office bearers of the Rotary part of Sri Aurobindo's college and giving me this opportunity, which I consider as one of my greatest blessings. Especially I told you because on the birthday of the great Maharishi, the yogi, the spiritual master, the politician, the philosopher, the teacher, whom I adore, probably much higher than most of the other freedom fighters. So thank you and pranams to each one of you. I like to have one question from anyone.
Dr. Sasi Kumar,
Yeah.
yes, I want to put one question. I think the speech was excellent, no doubt. When you talk about the spirituality as an important part of the life, don't you think that it should be a part of the curriculum of the students?
See, when we talk about spirituality, it is not to be taught. We have made most of the learnings useless because we have put into curriculum. If you want to learn spirituality, I have a small video my son has posted where a creeper is trying to find a rope for its twinning. 360-degree it goes around, and I kept a GoPro for recording it. That he edited 8 hours into 2 minutes. Don't miss it. You will know spirituality. See, that goes around by the lunchtime. The hot sun, it became tired and it was sleeping almost. Again 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock it wake up and then goes. Who taught this creeper this is how it has to grow? That is the spirit of nature. In Satya Yuga, we had the spirit of nature which is truly spiritual. They know how to live with the nature. What is spirituality? Being with the nature, understanding everyone and sharing, holding, hand holding, giving support. That is what is spirituality. Ena kena prakarena yasya kasyabi dehinaha sandosham jarayat pratna tadaivam Ishwara pujanam. If you can consider doing Ishwara puja is supporting somebody else, not for a temporary happiness, for a longer happiness is spirituality. So if one point you have picked up from me, what I have done today is the great spiritual. And how did I do that? My brain is not working. Connect an electroencephalograph and check. It is not functioning at all. It comes from the Atma. So when you become surrendering to Atma, you become a spiritual man. There your brain thoughts doesn't happen. But in academics, brain thoughts, learning happens. That is why, how do you become spiritual? In the yoga path, we have got 8 steps. When you reach 8th step, you are a spiritual man. That cannot be taught. Though there are lessons of meditation and people start talking meditation, pay feast and then become part of it. All that is stupid and fooling. Because yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. Nobody can take you into dhyanam and samadhi. Last 2 steps cannot be taught. Dhyanam is internalized. How can I go with Lokesh Gupta for a meditation? Going inside me is what is meditation. People say I was in a group meditation. How can you be in a group when you go inside you? Yeah. See, they did not understand the essence. I can take you up to dharana. So when somebody in America 2 years back, almost the same time, August 15th or 17th, I think, there was a session in which they asked me to inaugurate their meditation session. I said, you rename it, then I will come. You can call it as Dharana Alayam. I am from a Himalayan tradition of meditation. So what do my guru says? Meditation in action. I do be in samadhi. My social service, my teaching, my learning, my eating, my driving, my sports is a samadhi for me. I am not using my brain because that becomes so casual for me. So can you do things in your life so casual so that you are spiritual? So spirituality is not closing your eyes and sitting in the cave. No, spirituality is enjoying when you are feeding somebody else. Enjoying when I am talking. Though I am enjoying, I don't know whether you are suffering or not. I must enjoy. If that enjoyment comes in, I am in the spiritual world. And you should also enjoy. Not now, probably a long-term enjoyment will come. Otherwise, I am sure within 3 months, nobody will call me for a second lecture as a guest for a program like this. I'm sure somebody enjoyed it. That's why I am being called. Yesterday I was with Janaki Devi Memorial College. How many times? 5 times or 6 times in the same year. Can you imagine? Every program I am called. Why they are calling? Because there are some people who are enjoying it. Why do you understand that they are enjoying? People think that giving food makes people enjoyment. No. Annadanam param danam vidyadanam atatparam annena kshanika triptihi yavat jivam javidya. Throughout life you remember this day. Throughout life, if your brain is working, you cannot forget DrTPS. That impact when I can make, where am I reaching you? Not in buddhi. Whatever you learn in buddhi will forget. That's why curriculum people soon after exams, they will forget the whole syllabus. I don't know how many Aurobindo college students, if they write a 10th class, they will pass. I keep asking this to my graduate students who come and for mentorship with me. I said, you will write your exam. I have got students who have, you give me exams of what MSc I wrote maybe 40 years back. I will get more marks than what I got those days. 100%. That is my guarantee. If I cannot do that, I am unfit to be called as growing in my life. I am going down. No, that should not happen. So what you should do is, that ability which comes inside you, then you realize, yeah, this is what my Atma is. Atma should be much better than my buddhi and manas. Learning doesn't happen in Atma in classrooms. Understanding doesn't happen. That will happen only when Acharyat padam adatte padam shishya somethaya padam sa brahmacharibhya padam kalakramenacha. 100% learning will come only when Acharyas. Teachers are not Acharyas. They are paid for what they don't even practice. What they are teaching, they don't practice. I don't practice mathematics. I cannot be called as an Acharya in mathematics. So teachers have to be, that is why Aurobindo is an Acharya. From them when we learn only 25%. And Swayam, inside you the 25% should come with your meditation. And 25% with the discussion with the children. And then 25% with your experience. That's a wonderful question. We can go on and on. So Bhagavad Gita says, Uddhared atmanatmanam atmanam avasadhayet atmaiva hyatmano bandhu atmaiva ripuratmanava. When your buddhi and the manas and the atma joins together, that what you learn becomes raising for you to the highest level. That is actually spirituality. So spirituality cannot be taught, but some path of Ashtanga yoga up to 6 steps probably can be taught if those people are acharyas, not with the 3 months degree program in a yoga center and then write yoga acharya. Why? Because they can do monkey's job. They can put their leg onto the back of their head and then say, I know yoga. That is not yoga. That is yogasana. I have posted one YouTube presentation. Yogasana is not a monkey's task. People think I am against yoga. No, I am against the pure yoga which India had. Not today's, the polished yoga. No, that is not what I want. So, Gupta ji, your question was very, very good. Last 21 days we were debating on what India needs. Not me. I was calling a lot of guests. I also asked Tairushi, who was in contact with me, to suggest somebody. He was also part of it sometime. But he was not free on the day when I made him to talk. Any one of you, you want to have little bit of feeling after this 75th, the day celebration of today, you have a feeling that what India needs to be discussed. Make a small group of 5-6 people and then come back to me. We will find lot of time. We had great professors, great academicians, people who are working in press, lot of different people. I put them together to understand what India needs. All of us came back to one is agriculture, one is clean education. Today's education is adulterated. So I don't want to adulterate. Yoga also has become part of, I don't know how many of you have read that NCERT yoga syllabus. If you read, no people who learned Ashtanga yoga will agree that that is what is to be taught in schools. I don't agree at all, 100%. So putting into curriculum is never to be any part. But that is what government will do ultimately. That is what we are all good in that. Giving certificate, we are all good in that, not knowledge. Sorry if I made I think I crossed 6 minutes more. 25 was my.
No, actually, your lecture was is a complete of Independence Day celebration. In fact.
Yes. So thank you so much, sir. We are really obliged to have you here.